Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, comic book fan. I've got a new comic haul for you this month. It's a little bit light, but let's check out what I got. First of all, from Marvel Comics, I've got Star Wars Vader Dark Visions #1 by Hopeless, Vianelli, and Prianto. So I sort of remember hearing that this series was like cancelled, but then brought back with another creator or something. Am I crazy? Tell me in the comments. But anyway, this is a pretty cool cover. I actually wanted the photo cover, but it was way too scuffed up and all of that, so I got a better cover here. That photo cover was just a classic Darth Vader from Empire Strikes Back shot. And this features Darth Vader riding a badass horse with a shield. Spoiler alert, he never wears that shield, but he does ride that cool horse. And this is like a series that's kind of showing Darth Vader in a new light, maybe? Kind of weird. But anyway, this is Vader Dark Visions #1. Next up, staying on the Star Wars and Marvel Comics tip, I've got Star Wars Age of Republic Special #1. This is an anthology series. It's got 3 stories, one about Mace Windu, one about Asajj Ventress, and one about one of the clones plus Jar Jar Binks. So pretty cool. 3 different stories, 3 different art styles, showing Ventress in a different light than we saw her on the TV show and such. A different look at Mace, and also Jar Jar, if you don't believe that. So anyway, we've got Guggenheim, Hauser, Sachs, Gomez, Vianelli, Weingard, Almara, Arcienega, and Peter. So kind of cool to see an anthology series with a variety of stories. Vote up here if you like anthology series that have multiple stories in one issue. So this was pretty enjoyable, and I would check it out if I were you. Star Wars Age of Republic Special. Next up is the triumphant 50th issue of The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. So if you look carefully here, celebrating 50 issues of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, even though technically this is number 42, it's complicated. So yes, this is via legacy numbering. This is volume 2. 42, but adding up volume 1, 8 issues, issue 50, but excluding 5 issues of Squirrel Girl Beats Up the Marvel Universe. Yeah, it's complicated. Anyway, in the last several months, Erica Henderson left the title and left Ryan North to tend to it along with Derek Charm. Well, she returns to draw a few pages of this, also along with Franquise and Renzi. What is this? Kang versus Squirrel Girl of 3 eras. So yes, Squirrel Girl has battled all of the big characters in the Marvel Universe and defeated many of them, such as Thanos. Spoiler alert, she's actually gonna appear in the final Avengers movie and take out Thanos. She's also fought Kraven the Hunter and Dr. Doom and beaten them all. And here she battles Kang the Conqueror. Will she defeat him? Well, there's 3 Squirrel Girls of different time periods, so probably. Lastly, at Marvel Comics is Age of Conan Belit #1. Okay, so Marvel Comics has the license to Conan again. They had it in the 70s, in the 80s, and then lost it to Dark Horse Comics in the 90s and 2000s. Now they got it back again, just like their Star Wars comics. And so they started to publish some new Conan stories. Now, if you don't know too much about Conan mythology, you don't know about this character, Belit, who actually was one of Conan's first loves. So she is here. She is the pirate queen from the Black Coast. Her skin is like ivory and her hair raven black. So it's a comic story about her origin. This cover here by Sana Takeda does not quite represent the character in the book. In the book, she's a teenager finding her way after family tragedy. Then we've got Teenie Howard writing, Kate Niemczyk is the main artist, and Jason Keith. Well, we've also got a prose story, a text story at the back of the book after the main comic story. And this is a 5-part mini-series reintroducing Belit to the Conan universe. Now, is it Belit or is it Belit? Vote up here. Which do you like better, Belit or Belit? I like Belit. And yes, in this outfit that she's got on in her classic style, which leaves very little to the imagination and would make Deja Torres herself blush. Over at the Distinguished Competition, I've got Teen Titans 26. This is the variant cover, which I keep forgetting to look up the artist's name. I did, but I forgot. This is a variant cover with like a super realistic style that I love. Just like so detailed, so realistic. You can tell, you can sort of feel like this is a real character zooming at you. I also got the following issue 27 with this fun kid here as well. And again, just so realistic and cool style of art in these Teen Titan books. I have to admit, I'm just kind of getting these recent ones for the cover. I got the one with Jin and Robin and Crush, and I'm gonna get all the ones of the Titans. I think Red Arrow is the last one that'll come out unless I missed it, and I just really like these covers. So realistic, so cool. And at Image, I kind of broke down and got the first issue of Die Die Die. This is the Robert Kirkman, Scott Gimple story. This is the comic that came out of nowhere. No one knew that Kirkman was working on a brand new book, and suddenly there's a brand new comic book. So it's kind of funny. Blood-soaked, bullet-riddled, ultra-violent mayhem from Skybound. It's basically an alternate reality story about like assassinations and violence and stuff. You gotta check it out yourself. So I kind of took a quick look through it, and yep, pretty violent. The art by Burnham is you know, realistic but cartoony in a sense, and very violent. Someone gets their nose cut off on the first issue, and it only goes downhill from there. There's an interesting editorial at the back of the book where Kirkman talks about, don't you love in the 90s when you didn't know anything about a comic coming out and you visit the comic shops and suddenly there's a new comic? Like, who is Sleepwalker? Well, he wanted to recapture that by creating a comic that he held in secret, and the good folks at Image and Skybound helped him out, and nothing was known about it until the day it was on sale. So they don't do that anymore, and for that at least it's kind of cool. Story Rise, well, I've only read issue 1, and I'm like, okay, let's see if anything, how it continues on the next stories. And so that's pretty much it for this month. Oh, actually, I also got one thing. I got a back issue from eBay. This is Dark Horse Presents number 24 from 1988. I picked this up because this is the first appearance of the aliens in comic book form. So obviously Alien in 1979 and then Aliens in 1986. Dark Horse Comics scored a coup by licensing the Aliens property from Fox in the mid-80s and creating comic books about aliens years before any of the sequels happened. So it was sort of like the sequel to Alien and Aliens were only found in comic form, and Dark Horse was publishing them. Dig their classic Dark Horse knight chess piece. So Dark Horse Presents, or DHP, is an anthology series with a variety of stories. This one had 4. The Alien story, actually 3. The Alien story, Race of Scorpions, Homicide, and a Rick Gary piece about the police. It's all in black and white except for the cover. The art is amazing in all of them. Incredibly detailed for the Alien story. Race of Scorpions is also exquisite. Rick Geary's art is always great. Homicide was okay, art-wise, and all of them have fascinating stories. This Alien story is sort of like a memoir of an exobiologist talking about the alien species and such, waxing poetic about how they're the perfect killer. With beautiful art, you can get a sense of it there, even though it's colorized. Inside, it's all black and white. So I picked up Dark Horse Presents number 24. So there you go. What do you think? What do you like about my haul? What do you recommend I get for next time? What are you reading? Tell me about it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, thumbs up, like, all that good stuff. Follow on Twitter, Patreon. You get cool stuff at Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos. You get a lot of free stuff there, but if you move up to the $2 tier, I will actually send you comic books from my collection. For $1, you also get access to exclusive Patreon things that no one else gets. I think it's worth it. This has been VM Campos, and I'll see you next time.